Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live. It's your favorite commentators, Malik Banat and Vladimir Matyashenko, and currently we're observing one of the most important matches in this tournament. Moscow is playing versus our KIS B team. The rivalry between these two teams is renowned. And we're currently observing a showdown. It appears that Moscow has the ball. Moscow has the ball.
And excuse us, this is the Moscow Penguins versus the KIS A team, our girls' first squad. And it's the squad that's returning from a 3-1 defeat to the Budapest Blazers, so they're hoping to bounce back and find their rhythm against the Moscow Penguins. And so we have the Cossacks on the ball. And an interception by Moscow Penguins.
Of course, let's remember the successful news of the Cossack B team winning, what was it, 2-0?
Winning a 2-0 thriller versus the KCA with both doubles from the captain, number 2, in an incredible debut of Alia.
Certainly. Right now, we'll be observing how the KS Team A will try to come back. They will try to make sure that both KS teams will eventually rise to the top. Right now, Moscow is playing a pretty consistent defense, and right now the iceberg is still not melting. The iceberg is still not melting. KS Cossacks are on a Titanic, it appears to be.
The Penguins with possession on the left wing. Try a pass inside. The Cossacks intercepted midfield and then they counter it. But Moscow's defense is right there to pick up where they left off. It'll be a throw-in by the Penguins. Throw into the left. Hits our own fellow Cossack. A throw in once again. And Cossacks with an opportunity, but it's cleared by the Penguins.
It appears to be that both teams had a slow start. Both are trying to warm up to each other.
Yeah, both teams are still trying to find the rhythm. And the Penguins look to find that rhythm as we speak. There finds a cross. And there's an opening! One-on-one with the goalie, and Moscow Penguins go up ahead 1-0.
The Titanic of KS has hit an iceberg.
And unfortunately, the Lady Cossacks trail the Moscow Penguins 1-0. This is a live update from the Dynamo training facility. And so they set the ball, looking to, and the Moscow Penguins look confident enough to steal it in no man's land. Cossacks regained possession though, and they will attempt an offensive break on the right side. A pass is given to the center. Oh! Rough interaction, but great sportsmanship showed by the Moscow Penguins captain, who helps a fellow Cossack up. And now an attack for the Moscow Penguins. Crosses back, cross to the center, and a shot.
The goalkeeper knows the situation.
And easy pop, but the goalkeeper gives it right back. Incredible mistake from the goalie, and it costs the Cossacks 2-0. The Moscow Penguins are off to an incredible 2-0 start.
Certainly what we're seeing right now is that
So, Volodymyr, would you say it was nerves that cost us just this goal?
You know, perhaps the previous loss that the KS Team A suffered, perhaps that loss might have been the result that we're seeing right now. But I'm sure that this KS Team A.
And the Penguins are with another possession, 1v1 versus the goalie. And it's 3-0 already, ladies and gentlemen. The Penguins are showing no mercy for the Cossacks A team as they net in 3, and it's not even second half. And this is what I've talked about before, Volodymyr, the phenomenon of the debut, of how the girls start their very first game in the tournament. It is very well how they're gonna spend the rest of the day, at least in CISA. This tendency has been uncommonly proven wrong. Like the 3-1 defeat with the Budapest Blazers, it set off a bad start for the Cossacks, and we're feeling their nerves and their unconfidence in this current game.
Definitely.
But we still remain optimistic as there's more than a half to go through, and perhaps the Cossacks can make a historical comeback.
I agree. And also you mentioned that today is different from what's going to happen tomorrow. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Cossack Team A might bounce back, bounce through, break through all the teams.
Yeah,
You never know what's going to happen.
very well, but there's too much light in the day to speak of the night now. So we continue to observe as the Moscow Penguins cross to the left. Their captain, number 7, with great ball control and decision making.
It appears to be a free kick for Moscow.
She's been the captain aboard the ship, the Moscow ship, and she's steered them in the right direction throughout this whole game. Done a great job, great sportsman showed. Personally, from the side view, I adore how number 7 has played so far. What about you, Vo? And an incredible free kick.
The goalkeeper appears to save the ball.
Incredible from quite the distance, but the goalkeeper is right there. Number 7 with a shot that might have seemed like a good shot, but wasn't in the end.
Unfortunately, the pitch is not that big, so the shot was too powerful in that situation. But it was a very nice, smart shot.
Oh wow! Once again, the Penguin offense stripped the ball. It has already happened thrice that the Cossacks lose the ball on their own side in their defense so quickly, and it appears a substitution is coming in. Number 11 for the Cossacks has gone in, Dana Al-Abed, instead of number 16.
And look at how aggressive she's coming into. Energetic, aggressive. Maybe she will be the deciding factor in this game.
Perhaps this is the spark that the Cossacks need so desperately to regain some sort of control over the game.
Definitely. Control is something that I see that the Cossacks might have. At this point, they have nothing to lose. All they have to do is just take control of the game. All they have to do is...
Or is there more to lose as number 7 viciously counters the... But the Cossack defense...
took things under control.
Yeah, as we see. And here's an update from our correspondent Kamila Kotliar. The Warsaw Warriors are trailing the Budapest Blazers 1-0. Budapest ahead by 1.
Definitely.
And it will be a goal kick for the... for the KS Cossacks. Sorry. And incredible save by the KS goalie as the Penguins attempts to get one in from the left wing.
Excuse me.
Number 21 with yet another shot, but it is ironically deflected by her own teammates, so it will be the goal kick for the KS Cossacks. So Volodymyr 3-0. It might seem like a big score on aggregate, but do you believe that in such a dynamic game of 7-a-side, things can easily change even from 3-0?
Definitely. If you remember the Champions League final between Liverpool and Milan in 2005, 3-0 in the first half, Milan was winning. And in the second half, Liverpool made a comeback and won the game through penalties. Anything is possible in football.
So we hope our fellow Cossacks will commit to that red color ship and solidarity of the Liverpool team. And we are wishful for a comeback. And anyone tuning in now, it's 3-0 for the Moscow Penguins. The KIS A team are trailing. And a good fight shown in the middle of the pitch. And now it's Donna, fresh off the substitution, trying to run the offense. But she's stripped by number 7, the captain of the team.
Yeah, it certainly looks like the Moscow Penguins are active both on defense and offense. But
and
we have a counterattack by Kazakhs.
And Donna Al-Abed showing no signs of stopping as she starts once another attack. And the girls maintain control. Good dribbling shown by the Cossacks and a shot. And it's 3-1 for the Lady Cossacks.
It's the beginning of the comeback that I was talking about earlier.
This is what we've been hopeful for. And we hear Coach Burke applauding the girls.
3-1. A possible notion to the fact that the Warriors will a 3-1 lead. Will the Penguins achieve, or should I say mischief, the same thing? Tune in.
And now the Penguins with the possession. So, as we've seen, Dana Al-Abed was an opportunist from the very first step she took on the pitch. She contributed widely to this goal, not giving up on the play, and the Cossacks resulted in a miraculous goal that even the goalie couldn't do anything about. Again, from the same angle as we've commented on last game, that seems like a special chosen angle today, and which helped the Cossacks net one in, as we remain hopeful for 2 more goals for a tie game.
Definitely, but let's not be skeptical about that.
And here are the Moscow Penguins, where the goalie has no trouble stopping the play. Now, all she has to do is kick the ball out before it hits one of the Moscow Penguins, which she finds trouble in doing. And the Moscow Penguins with yet another shot, and fortunately, it misses.
Yes, the goalkeeper and defense, I feel like, had a miscommunication there, but thankfully the Kazakhs are still 3-1. The score is still 3-1, and the Kazakhs are trying their best to fight out.
And once again, there is an interception on our own side. Something which has been killing the Cossacks so far is giving up the ball so easily on their own side. And this miscommunication between the goalie and the defense, it's primarily what cost the goals. It wasn't due to some over-complex strategy or combinations from the Penguins or lack of skill of the Cossacks. It was primarily due to this mental. And ladies and gentlemen, the Moscow Penguins net in another one as the Cossacks trail 4-1.
Well,
so it seems to be mostly mental now, as the continuation of losing the ball on our own side, not being able to control. It's a huge factor in this game. What do you think, Volodymyr?
Certainly, it seems as if the Kazakhs were prepared physically, but not mentally. Perhaps it was the result of the previous game. And right now we have the Moscow Penguins again attacking and a miss.
And in fact, Moscow is the one who has been feeding off of that in confidence from the Cossacks, as now they are taking long shots that they wouldn't take in the beginning of the game, but seeing that they're up ahead by 3 goals, they feel like they have the luxury to shoot and perhaps net in a stunner. And Anastasia Reynolds does a good job in hustling on the offensive side.
And the first half is over. Perhaps we should also remind you that in the previous game, Moscow lost to Prague 2-0. Perhaps that loss fueled their anger, their passion for the game to come out strong in this game versus the Kazakh Team A. The end of the first half is upon us, is already happened. And stay tuned. It's...
Definitely, I agree. Definitely, I agree about the part of Moscow being fueled by their anger of the first loss, and And it is worthy of mentioning that the Prague Falcons have done an incredible job so far in this tournament. Both of their teams, Team A and B, have proven with consecutive wins, and they're looking strong as at contending to be back-to-back champions, as they've won the middle school girls KIS A last year. And the squad is looking extremely strong. And
Furthermore, perhaps they are the most experienced squad in this tournament. What can that mean? Well, certainly that can mean a couple of things. They're certainly not the underdogs. They have already, it appears that they have already won both of their matches. And, ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to the halftime show with Volodymyr Matushenko and Malik Banat. We are proud of our ladies Cossacks' first half. They've net in an incredible goal that was initially caused by the spark of the substitution of Dana Al-Abid for the Reds, which she did not give up on the play, and provided an incredible spark of perhaps a potential comeback. However, due to the continuing losses of Cossacks losing the ball on their side, Moscow has taken complete advantage of it and scored a total of 4 goals. So we trail currently for 1. Vova, any additional comments on the game?
any team that's playing this game always has to stay strong, mentally and physically. Don't give up, no matter what, because you never know what's going to happen in this kind of game. So, this is a competitive sport, so as long as you stay competitive, you will be regarded as a competitor. You will be regarded as a player who is worthy of playing the game, who deserves to be here.
Well said, Vova. And giving the dynamic fluidity of the game of 7 aside, a comeback is very realistic if the Cossacks speed up their tempo. Actually, no, I take my words back. It will be better if the Cossacks regain more control defensively, and offensively they've been doing a stellar job in attacking and not giving up on the play, which was the primary cause of the first goal. And we want to see that happen again. But first, if you can't play defense, you don't get to play offense. So we hope that Lady Cossacks will have a different mental mindset for the second half, as they'll be more defensively focused. And
the second half is already beginning. We'll switch on to the broadcast. And the second half is beginning. The teams have changed sides.
And the Cossacks are first to step on the field, showing a very promising enthusiasm that they're hungry for a comeback. And we're excited to see what the second half brings, no?
Definitely. You know, right now, as long as they can make use of their key players, attack, and make sure they play good defense, I think a comeback is really possible.
And we see the Moscow Penguins with their potential first attack of the second period. Try to cross in, Cossacks right there to counter.
We should notice that the right and left backs of the Cossacks have played really good defense. The center is really the only thing that they lack in this match.
Yeah, the center defense, that link between the center defense and the goalie has been the most problematic so far, and hopefully the Cossacks, it will be different this half. And the Cossacks, perhaps within their own attack, as Moscow regains possession, but number 21 is right there. Once again, the left back of the Cossacks team doing a great job. Then number 18 for the Penguins. Perhaps setting up a play, but the left wing of the Cossacks.
And we have a possible counter-attack on the center.
Go dribbling. But it is interrupted by incredible anticipation from the Moscow Penguins captain, number 7. So we've interviewed number 7 before the tournament, and she's like any captain of the team, very confident in the team's chances. But what she prides in most is the team's communication. She's mentioned how well the girls known each other, and that most of them have played already 2 years together. So there's a real good chemistry behind this Penguin team. And do you think it's been visible so far, this game, Volodymyr?
Well, definitely. If you just look at the score, it's already visible. But of course, their teamwork, their connection between the offense and the defense, we can clearly see that they can advance from the defense to the offense. And currently, right now, we see that the Kazakhs are attacking on the left wing. A throw-in. We have a throw-in. They throw in into the center, into the swarm of the Penguins.
And the Penguins, KIS defense right there to pick up, and now number 23 of the Cossacks aggressively goes for the ball, but misses it just by a tiny bit, but still manages to catch up on defense and clears the ball. So far the defense we haven't seen any holes in the defense. It's been looking pretty solid so far.
Yeah, we can certainly see the passion of the players. They don't want to give up. They want to continue playing because they know that they came here to make their parents proud, first of all, and then to win.
Yes, we have a lot of parents in the audience watching.
And I'm certain that right now, the way they're playing, they already have made lots of people proud. I'm certainly proud of all the teams right now competing here. I see fantastic football.
And number 11, Dana, with another potential attack. It's interrupted by the Penguins. And Cossacks clear the ball from danger once again, and they have a potential to turn it into a counterattack. Controlled pass to Dana. Number 16 tries a light touch, which deflects the ball, and then it's a wing counterattack for the Penguins. Good pass, but the center just can't place her foot correctly on the ball. And we currently have the Cossacks on the run, but the Penguins once again regain possession. They play the field, dribble the ball, pass.
To have some sort of substitute. Yeah, a substitution.
A substitution for the KIS Cossacks.
While the Penguins are moving on with their attack. Good save by the goalkeeper.
Great save by the goalie. But she gives it right back to the Moscow Penguins. And this is the lack of chemistry in that certain chain that we've been talking about. How the goalie fails to find the open players into which to safely hand the ball to. But to mention, Volodymyr, the first game we've commented on, there have been instances where also the Bucharest goalie, a great goalie, failed to find. And now the Moscow on attack, interrupted by the Cossack defense. Number 19 doing a great job to harass the Penguin offense. And possible counter by number 16 running the floor, interrupted by number 12.
Good pace, but unfortunately she lost control of the ball.
So back to what I was saying is that how the Bucharest Vampire goalie was a great caliber goalie, yet even she made that one mistake with communication by giving up the ball to the Warriors side, and that cost them one goal.
Certainly, that might have been the deciding factor in the game, but we have to remember that this is a team sport. Everybody's responsible for everybody else's mistakes. We can't just judge it simply because one of them made a mistake. And if we continue, currently the the Moscow defense kicked out the ball. It appears that the Cossack players have a throw-in. And the Moscow has control or the ball in the center, but the KS Kazakhs have a chance to counterattack. Unfortunately, they were squashed together, so there was no room for any passing or combinations to advance. Currently, we have an exchange of shots and kicks between the teams. Currently, Kazakhs have the ball, and very passionate and
And so to note that number 19, the Kozak right wing defender, has been doing a great job in clearing the ball. And we have an update here from the other side.
Warsaw and Budapest currently play 1-1. Both teams in their previous games pretty much received success, and now we have an equal game between them, 1-1. Certainly an interesting game.
And back to our game, Kozaks with a throw-in, intercepted by the Penguins. Number 3 looking for a pass, passes back to the defense. Great control shown by the Penguins. And the Penguins attempting a shot which is wide of the team. And an update, both of the equalized game 1-1. Both teams, Warsaw and Budapest, are A teams. And it's both teams that were successful in their debuts, both each gaining a W on their record. And it's been fascinating so far. And back to the Cossacks and Penguins clash. The score, for anyone tuning in, the score is 4-1 for the Moscow Penguins. We have yet to see any goals in the second half. Both sides have been exchanging passes, interceptions. Not too much shooting from the Cossack side, though. Moscow attempted a few shots back and forth. And it will be a goal kick for the KIS Cossacks.
Finally, we have a kick by the goal, but it again appears to be that the Penguins have intercepted it. And we have another score. It's outside the arena. The Prague team plays Bucharest, and the score is 1-1.
So on both sides we have equal games. Fascinating clashes. While this game that is being streamed, it is 4-1 to anyone tuning in for the Moscow Penguins. And the Moscow Penguins harassing the KIS goalie right up front, not giving any breathing space for the goalkeeper.
In these situations, as an experienced football player, I can tell you that the defense have to take over. The defense have to prevent any action that the goalie might be engaged with the strikers of the Moscow Penguins.
Precise.
Right now, a very dangerous moment.
And number 19 turns the score to 5-1 as the KIS Cossacks
have yet again conceded a goal. See, the main reason.
And here, a spotlight shown on Coach Burke, aiding and advising the goalkeeper to simply throw over the ball with her hands rather than a straight kick, which would be more effective and harder to intercept rather than a simple kick.
And as I was trying to say, the reason why we have so many conceded goals from the Cossacks is unfortunately because the defense does not communicate with the goalie. That has been the main problem. But the Cossack offense looks to be pretty promising and looks to be aggressive. Currently, they control the ball. And yet again, the Penguins, an exchange of passes and kicks. And the Cossacks have regained control. an attempt to pass forward to the striker, but unfortunately the ball falls off the foot.
So the early flattering of the second half of Kozak defense did not prove worthy throughout the rest of the second half. Although it is to be noted that number 19, the right back of the Cossacks team, has held a very defined position in her defense and has not let the ball over on her side. Meanwhile, there have been obvious gaps in the rest of Cossack defense.
And unfortunately, again, there's a miscommunication between the defense and the goalie, as the goalie appears to as the goalie appears to kick the ball into the out. Perhaps the Cossacks are actually mentally breaking. I did not expect this. I definitely saw a chance for a comeback, but it looks like the Penguins.
They looked pretty. There was a great spark of hope with the Cossacks' first goal. It could be seen from the oohs and ahs from the crowd, but unfortunately, the Cossacks did not keep up with that much-needed mentality. There's still a mental barrier between the Moscow Penguins and KIS Cossacks, where the Penguins feel like they can take advantage. And once again, we see a one-on-one with a goalie, and it is 6-1 for the Moscow Penguins. Unfortunately, great performance by the Moscow Penguins. Very powerful. They did not fail to take advantage of Cossacks' mistakes. With every possession, they've capitalized on it, and the score shows the whole outlook of the match.
The Cossacks, what they need is support. Unfortunately, there are no parents available to cheer on the girls. So perhaps maybe that may be the reason why they have lost so much moral support or mental support, and physically it seems that they were indeed prepared for this match, but mentally.
Yeah, the girls look like they've been running and physically prepared and physically skilled. However, they've just not been making the right decisions, which is truly all but mental. Sports is a very mental sport at first. Some might even argue that the mental part is one of the most important parts, more important even than the physical at times. And we see the goalie finally listening to Coach Burke's advice on throwing over the ball, and it results in a KS counterattack. So just this little adjustment already provided a spark for KS' first counterattack of the second half. And now it will be the Penguins with a throw-in on our side. The Penguins with a throw-in, number 20, number 20 with a throw-in. And will be goal kick. Victoria, number 1, the KS goalie, will clear the ball.
And the match is over.
Oh, yeah. And the match is complete.
The final score, Moscow versus KS Team A, is 5-1.
Oh, thank you. And so for anyone tuning in just now, a quick recap of what happened. The Moscow Penguins achieved their redemption from their previous loss to the Falcons,
Yes.
the Prague Falcons. A very strong team, by the way, which has yet to lose both their A and B teams. But the Moscow Penguins complete the match with a 6-1 deficit for the KS Cossacks. The KS girls have shown obvious defensive lapses, which Vova and I believe to be mainly reasons for the mental barrier rather than any physical or skill set of the Cossacks. They haven't been as mentally prepared, and perhaps it was due to their previous loss to Budapest. So here we can see a perfect example of two different teams that both lost their debut, but just had a different mental approach into how they would go in their second match. Vova, what do you have to add about the first half, with the Cossacks actually scoring their goal?
Well, in the first half, we could see that the Kazakhs were really passionate about the game, and regardless of conceding multiple goals, they still pushed forward and scored. The second half was not really different. They still wanted to score. Unfortunately, they didn't get as many chances as they wanted. And all I have to really say is that this is a very young team, and that this isn't really something that is going to happen all the time. It won't happen all the time.
Yeah, Coach Burke mentioned prior to the season that there would be only one girl returning from middle school who actually had any CISA experience. So in all fairness, this is a team that is not unaware, but they do not have yet. They never had any of this CISA experience. So one might say they're the rookies of the game. However, they still showed. They still stuck as a team throughout the whole game. Everyone stuck in behind the goalie. Whenever they made any mistakes, they never failed to console each other. Moscow showed great sportsmanship all throughout, in my opinion, from both sides. And we are hopeful that the KIS Cossacks A team, the girls, will make adjustments mentally next game. And as we've seen, Coach Burke yelled out a perfect advice to the goalie: throw over the ball rather than just a straight kick, which has the incredible vulnerability and risk of giving it to the opponent's side, which has happened continuously. So we hope that even that little adjustment, it worked fine, and the Cossacks even got their first counter-attack of the second period. So we hope that the team will have a different mindset and make those few key adjustments, and I believe they're gonna be just fine in the tournament if they continue, if they do specifically those things.
Certainly. And now we have to end our little interview here. We will return to you in our next game. Stay tuned, please.